New classes are already in the works. New classes are already in the works, which will be coming at a regular cadence after launch for years to come. Okay, so there was a new article with an exclusive interview that was done by WCCF Tech. I will have a link to this article in case you want to read it. I'm going to give you the highlights and paraphrase what's going on for you. If you scroll down here, let's cut right to the chase. The very first question is a hard-hitting one about basically the bad reception that the game had when they first announced it, you know, during the whole going up there and showing the Diablo Immortal when everyone thought it was going to be Diablo 4. And they say that they understand the perception was bad at the time. However, they feel that with Diablo 4's announcement, Diablo 2 Resurrected being already released, Diablo 3 still getting content, and then Diablo Immortal just around the corner, that effectively there is a pretty good time to be a Diablo fan. And there's a lot of Diablo games out there, which is just objectively true at this point. We have more and more Diablo games as time is going on. Okay, so they are laser focused on making the Diablo game the best mobile game that they can possibly for fans. And what's interesting here, they make a statement which I think is actually true, about that once the players actually started playing the game, excitement started to increase, which I think is true, because everyone who's played the beta so far that has talked to me that was either a longtime beta vet or a content creator that played the beta, because I've talked to both non-content creators and content creators, it seems to be consistent throughout. Everyone just really enjoys the game once they get their hands on it, and that's sort of what they allude to within this answer. They answer that. This is an interesting part, and we'll take notice to these next couple questions here. So players feel that at least some of the dungeon content Hell 2 and Hell 3 tier and Diablo Immortal could be done solo if the game allowed it. Any plans to do that, aka are the higher tier going to be soloable? And they say no, we want to create some activities that are oriented towards group content and others that are intended for solo. So for the players who enjoy solo, we reworked the bounty system to make sure that you don't have to have a group for that, because there used to be bounties that required group play, and now there is not. If you look here, this is another important piece of information that we got out of this. Can set pieces also get essence transfer? Common question. When players suggest this, the root of the feedback is usually that the player wants to wear a set, but by the time they put together all the pieces of the set, the stats on the item found long ago no longer high enough warrant the set bonus. AKA, I read that weird, but basically he's saying that by the time you get the sixth piece, your very first piece is garbage. So they've addressed this by making the stats on the set items determined primarily by your difficulty setting rather being boosted by your Paragon level, because it used to be where you grind higher Paragon level, and the higher Paragon level you have, the higher gear that drops, and then it's just a circle. You keep doing that, you get higher Paragon level, you get higher stats, and now it's you go through Hell 1, 2, 3, 4, as you get the higher difficulty, you get the better drops, which there's still going to be a little bit of that issue, I think, because if you actually look at Hell 4 is when you get the 6-piece set. So now you have to go all the way to Hell 4 to get the 6-piece set. So let's go ahead, and I'm not sure why that video is playing there. How satisfied are you with the current state of PvP? This is a hard-hitting question because PvP is a big focus on this game. The answer to this is they really list, I mean, I could read the whole thing, but basically I've already read this. They basically say what it is that they're focusing on, which this is the first game with the fully fleshed out PvP system, and they're really focusing on the cycle of strife. And then they also have the 8v8 battlegrounds, asymmetrical raid the vault, and the epic 30v1, where one player effectively assumes the role of a giant raid boss as 30 players try to take this down. So if you don't know what that is, this is going to be really awesome. The Immortal will be a raid boss form, and 30 actual players will be fighting against the raid boss. So hopefully this channel is going to have footage of that. I will be the leader of my clan. We do have a very large content creator team and lots of people doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make it happen. So hopefully we're actually going to have that footage here on this channel. So subscribe if you would like to see that in the future. And then this is where we get into some more interesting stuff here. How often do you plan to release new Diablo Immortal content, such as new zones, classes, and raids? They say launch is just the beginning. We will have constant updates for the game on a regular basis. We already know every month there's going to be something new, because they said that there was going to be new Helicarry bosses every month. Things like Battle Pass updates, new cosmetics, live in-game events. You can already expect quite often new zones, new Helicarry bosses, like I've already mentioned, dungeons, and new classes are already in the works. New classes are already in the works, which will be coming at a regular cadence after launch for years to come. So we know there's going to be new classes coming to the game as well. And of course, you will get all of this content for free. Any monetization changes since the last beta? This is what I've mentioned previously. They say any plans to make crests and legendary gems more available to non-paying players has been a common complaint, common feedback. Yes, significantly improve the experience for players using rare crests. If you didn't know, there's going to be changes also to runes, fading ember, and crafting costs. So basically, they're trying to make it easier to actually craft these legendary gems. Give WoW's incentive. I know how the fading ember change works. It's for the sharing version of it. So effectively, they're trying to give incentive once the details come out of the WoWs to actually play with the free-to-play more, so that way you can share some of the fading embers more. There's some mechanics in game to encourage that. They address here the game was removed from the app stores of Belgium and Netherlands. Can you reveal if there's any plans to make the game available there in the future? And they say it will not be available. Okay. Unfortunately, this is related to the current operating environment for games in those countries. We do not have additional details. This is a nice way of basically saying that, sadly, the countries won't allow it, essentially. Are there any high resolution, high frame rate? So we have unlimited frame rate is uncapped on PC, and frame rates, Diablo Immortal on PC supports 1920, 1080, and above. So you can go up to your 4K or whatever it is you're going to want. Plans to support Mac? Answer is no. On that later point, can you share the final list of compatible controllers? And I've already shown this in that previous video, so go back to the previous video that has launch times in it if you want to see the complete list of all controllers, which is basically all of them, both wired and wireless. So that's the breakdown of everything they have here. Which of these are you excited by the most? I think the biggest one here out of all of these is knowing that there's going to be new classes coming to the game as well, but we also know there's some change to things like the set items as well, the difficulty level, and how actually gear ties to not Paragon levels anymore, but the difficulty level actually that you're clearing, as well as now we know groups are going to be really important as well, because they expect the higher difficulties, which will give you your higher tier gear to want to be in a group for. So we can go ahead and glean some information from that. Love y'all. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subbing. It's supporting me and letting me know that keep heading in the right direction with Diablo Immortal. Appreciate it a lot. See you on the next video.